Welcome to my third design tour. Today I'll be talking about Gish by Edmund Macmillan and Chronic Logic. What really makes this game unique are the indirect physics-based controls. There are two kinds of input, directional controls and state changes. Direction controls tell Gish where you want to go, and he'll try to move in the direction you pressed, either by shifting his weight or by spinning his body. State change keys change his physical properties, either by making him sticky, slippery, heavy, or expanded. Most side-scroller games have relatively direct controls. For example, there's usually a jump key that shoots your character upwards, and is reactivated when you hit the ground. In Gish, there is no jump key. Not really. But if you compress your body down and then expand and shift your weight upwards, you leap off the ground. This seems like a lot more work than just pressing a jump button, but it's a good example of the difference between shallow controls and deep ones. Gish has deep controls because they work at a level below what you explicitly intend to do. For example, if you want to climb a wall, you make yourself sticky and crawl up it. If you want to go down a narrow pipe, you make yourself slippery and jump in, or wiggle in. However, there is no explicit action called climb wall or go down pipe. It all follows naturally from the underlying rules. You can become sticky or slippery, and the world follows the laws of basic Newtonian physics. The best example of this may be flipping a switch. In most games you have a use button, and if you press it while near a switch, you flip it. However, in Gish you have to physically move it from one position to another. This is more work, but it's fun because there's so many different ways to do it. You can stick to it and pull it, or become heavy and push it, or knock an object into it. At first, this control scheme feels pretty awkward, especially since basic tricks like jumping are not very clearly explained. However, as you get used to it, it starts to feel a lot more natural and intuitive than the explicit controls in many other games, and you start to move around like a tarball ninja. Multiplayer is where the controls really shine. Each mode is very simple, usually in a small room with a simple rule. This one here is a pit fighter level, where the objective is to kill the other player. You aren't provided with any weapons or attacks, but you get to make up your own. You can try and squish them while they're unprepared, or break a hole in the ground and knock them into the spikes. There are a number of other multiplayer modes in Gish, including sumo wrestling, football, and racing. The sumo wrestling and football modes are interesting because they wouldn't be fun at all using traditional controls. The physics-based controls are almost impossible to master, so they're great for multiplayer. You and your friend can both compete to try and invent new techniques. Unfortunately, Gish only offers multiplayer on the same computer, which is difficult to set up unless you have extra keyboards or controllers lying around. It won't really work if you try to share a keyboard, because most keyboards don't register enough simultaneous key presses. This kind of multiplayer would be ideal for consoles though, and I'm surprised that nobody has done anything like this. Even on the same computer, there are occasional physics bugs where two objects can merge into one. This is kind of weird, but it's kind of fun to have to fight over the same body. In single player, there are also occasional physics bugs. Sometimes things go through you, so you survive collisions that should be fatal. However, what is really awful is when you're killed by things that shouldn't be dangerous, or that you couldn't possibly see coming. So I'm almost at the end of the chapter and I have 4 lives left. This should be no problem. Oh, okay. The wall exploded with no warning. Let's see. Well, 3 lives should be enough. I'll just go in this launcher here. Well, 2 lives left. It can't glitch out again. What? There's some kind of trick to this? It better not. I have to go back 7 levels now. So not only are there no within-level save points, if you die too many times, you're sent back to the beginning of the chapter, up to 7 levels back. The only way to turn this off is to play on easy mode, so do yourself a favor and play on easy mode. As far as I can tell, nothing else changes. It just lets you continue on the same level if you die. On a totally different note, this game uses advanced graphics techniques like stencil shadows, normal mapping, and per pixel specular highlight, and applies them to great effect in their 2D world. I've never seen this before or since, so if any of you are working on 2D games, don't forget that a lot of 3D graphics techniques can still be used. While the music in Gish is uniformly excellent, the sound effects are rather sparse. I made a few placeholder sounds for this scene to show you how you can make unique sound effects very quickly and cheaply. These sound effects wouldn't win any awards or anything, but I think I've made my point. Anyway, in spite of my critiques, Gish is one of my favorite games, and you can find it at crypticsea.com. If you have any questions or comments, or if there's a game you'd like to see next week, let me know on the Wolfire blog.